So let's have a look at the phpmyadmin interface. Now, this runs through a web browser. So to an extent, it's not as sophisticated as an interface that you would get if you were using an actual piece of software, but it's fine. Now, the way that this is organised is that you have a column over here on the left, and this shows you the database servers that you're connected to, and in particular, the databases that you've actually got running on your web server. Now, if you're using the Kingston web server, you'll have an entry that looks something like this, something like DB, and then there'll be a K, and then there'll be your student identifier, and that will be a database that's been created automatically for you. And I think that with the KUNet server, students can have one database. Okay, so you can have one database. You can have as many tables as you like inside that database, but you can have one database. If you're using phpmyadmin on your own machine, you will actually have to create a database. There are a number of databases running that are part of MySQL. We won't actually touch any of these. What you'll actually have to do is you'll actually have to create a new database, but I'll talk about that in the next video. Let's carry on looking at the interface aspects that we have here. So we have a series of tabs that run across the top, and what happens is as we click into these tabs, different functionality becomes available. So this opening sort of splash page tells you information about the database server and the web server and things like that. And then we can tap across the top and see the functionality that's available to us. So I can tap on the databases tab, and here we can create a database. So we could type a database name in and we can create it. Now that facility is probably not going to be available to you on KUNet because you have one database that you can use. So this is a facility that's available if you have MAMP and MySQL installed on your local machine. We'll be doing lots and lots of our work through the SQL tab. And here we can actually type SQL queries in, and then we can run them and see the results of running those queries. So that's quite nice because it means we can actually type in create, insert, delete, select SQL statements in here and run them against a database table. We've got status information. Typically, database servers will have all sorts of things to do with user accounts. Some of these tabs may not be available on the version of phpmyadmin that you're looking at. So I think SQL, databases, SQL, these two are really interesting here, export and import. And what they actually enable you to do is to actually export the database tables that you have, and it will create SQL statements for you so you can download them into a text file so you could transfer them to a different database. So if you had something set up that you're working on the university machine, you could export it and take it home as a text file, and then you could import it into your version of MAMP at home. And there's all sorts of options here, but basically you don't have to just select to have the information exported and imported as SQL. You could export information as a comma separated value file. That's quite useful if you need to get information in and out of something like Excel, something like that. And there's all sorts of different alternatives here. So the tabs that we're really interested in using here are going to be SQL and probably export and import a little bit. I doubt we'll be using very much of anything else here.